Alright guys, here we're going to talk about episode 8, season 1 of The Punisher. I watched this a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It's not as fresh in my mind. I remember two things and two things alone. One, partner dies.
Yeah.
And two, you kiss my wife.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. You got to lead us through this, and I'll remember things as we go.
Perfect. It's like it's kind of a Billy heavy episode.
Yeah.
It was really welcome.
Who's Billy? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Max's brother, right? Who drives the car all fast. No, it's like weird that so many Billies are floating around in the zeitgeist here. No, it's Billy. It's like Billy heavy. It opens with Billy. It's like an American Psycho type montage. He's getting ready. There's like creams, and he's like straightening things and like doing stuff and all that.
I actually hated everything about that.
I liked that so much.
I thought it's such a. They're trying to make the Billy character more creepy.
Yeah.
And they're working on that pretty well. The whole if ever there's a moment in a scene where I go, is he gonna rape her? Somebody is evil, because I was totally like, oh god, he's pulling the covers off. What is he gonna do? Is this his thing? Oh my god. And I'm like, oh, he's giving her heroin. Oh, I guess that by comparison, that's good. I'm like, does he give the heroin because he likes her or because he hates her? I don't know. Is he trying to kill her?
We're jumping ahead a little bit.
A little bit.
Did you hate him getting ready, or did you hate what that leads into, which is him visiting his mom?
I kind of just hate him.
So
everything he does, I hate.
That's what they're doing. So
no, but there's a difference between like, oh, I hate that character. He's such a good actor.
He should get
versus like, could he just die?
Yeah.
He killed a character I liked better. Why? It should have been you.
It should have been. I liked it a lot because he's so well put together, and like everyone jokes that he's so pretty and all that stuff. And then finally here, after all of this, you finally get to see that there's this beauty ritual of sorts. It was kind of light on that. He wasn't like peeling off a face mask or whatever. But you could see him, and like the way he looks at himself, in like the mirror. I thought it was a good, and it was a good time for it. If you had showed me this a long time ago, that would have affected my opinion of him, up until now.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they show it to you now, after he's like murdered a hooker and like staged her in the bed and been like, "What's that?" Oh,
and having sex with one of our main characters.
Check that shit out. Oh no, he's been fucking her for like a while, and and they were doing more sex this time too. It was they're back at it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he goes to visit, his mother, and some like disturbing shit is happening there. I didn't read that scene properly, and I went back and forth on like what all that meant or something like that, because she starts to like resist and like freak out, and then he like injects her, and then he says, "See you next week," which is supposed to be like, oh shit, this is like his thing. He loves to go over and like lord over her, how awesome, and the tables are turned now, ma, and all that stuff. But then I'm like, wait, does he like inject her every week? That injection can't last for a week. Is she really that fucked up? Like, what's going on? I was very confused.
It can't last for a week. No. I think it's just that you get your fix, suffer all week for the next fix. Like, it's probably the maximum amount of time for withdrawal to set in just to give her another hit.
Well, when he fucking does it, I was like, because it seemed like she started to make noises, and he did it to like shut her up and calm her down or like whatever. But then I was like, well, once that injection wears off, she'll be able to tell,
I don't think she can talk
later. I guess not. I don't know.
I think she's fried her brain.
Yeah, she was like a method back in the day or something.
Like, oh god, drugs. Why?
That's her brain on drugs or whatever. No, yeah, it was very weird to me because the way that the injection played out, I was very confused. But I was very much like, okay,
it's confusing. It's not just you. It's an odd setup.
But the whole scene was so creepy when he pulls off the covers and she's like restrained and all that stuff, and like the whole thing, because like that whole scene, that whole part of our lives where like people get old and they end up in a situation is like very horrible to begin with. And he's in this thing, and you find out all these things. I was worried they were trying to make him sympathetic, but then the scene immediately fucking veers off into like a cliff, because at first you're like, oh, now we're gonna find out, like in Breaking Bad when like Gus goes to like the thing or something, like, oh, he's got a thing and there's a problem in your personal life, so that's why you're such a dick. Oh, okay. And then he'll be like, we gotta fight Agent Orange together now, Frank. And it's like, nope, don't worry about that. Especially by the end of the episode, but even by the end of this scene, he's a piece of shit.
Was this the episode, or was it last episode where they're going over the scar stories, and he says how my uncle broke my arm? And
that was this one, okay. Yeah, that was the other thing that made me think, okay, they're trying to like make him sympathetic.
Exactly.
He was like almost or maybe molested when he was 10, definitely
got a half molestation.
Assaulted or whatever. I don't know if how that all plays out, and they always keep it vague for good reasons or whatever. I don't know if that was meant to imply that dude was like molesting him.
I think he at least tried once.
Yeah. Oh no. Definitely he tried once and got fucked up for it or something like that. So the scars are from surgery to repair the rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, there's certain things where I'm like, I don't want to have to Google anything here. But how do you get scars from getting your shoulder, yanked out of the socket?
Oh,
and then I go,
you
wait a
break
minute.
something good enough, you can do anything.
It's weird that he's such a badass and was in the army though, because my understanding is rotator cuff, stuff is like back stuff, or like it kind of like is always an issue or something like that.
I think if you look at like any wrestler who's broken their back many times, if you're a badass, you're a badass.
So it makes him even more badass.
Yeah, well, I think it's like well, he could be 20% more badass, but him at 80 is still a 4,000% increase from your average man.
Imagine if I didn't have one arm tied behind my back.
Yeah, think about how many times the Punisher has been shot. I'm sure there's all kinds of disfigurements happening in his body that would make him slower and worse than he should be.
He's like Deadpool. He's like 78% scar tissue at this point. It's crazy. So they do more sex. We get to the thing. Madani does some stuff at the station. They know it's bugged now. They're going to flip it. They're going to use it to their advantage. They're going to set a trap.
Yeah, like the worst trap ever. Like they set a trap,
but that's great because he's
they don't bring nearly enough people. What kind of trap did you think you were sending? You thought you were setting a trap for like horrible government agents that are like taking out the Punisher and doing crazy shit. And your plan is like, what? I'll show up with 3 guys. What do you have? A pistol? Yeah, that's cool. I'll take a shotgun. Whatever.
Well, okay, it was like maybe 10 guys or something like that. It was like still not enough. They had no idea how many guys that there would be. Is the main thing, right?
But there was no like all right, and if I push this button, more guys come.
Yeah.
No. Where are the local police? Where's anything?
Yeah.
You have fucking automatic weapon fire.
Again, very, very weird with like the lack of backup. You can go have races in the streets where there's literally no humans at all. You can do whatever you want. You can run down the thing. No one's gonna be like, wait a minute, or something like that.
But like you knew, and maybe I'm just a guy who's like only watched like cops or whatever. But like. Like the SWAT team, when they do like a thing where they're like, okay, this guy might have a pistol. They come in with like masks and riot shields and fucking rams and shit.
Like the truck pulls up and the back opens and dudes like run out or whatever.
This was like a fat guy in a little coat scenario. He has
it was all it was like all the extras we've seen around the office and in like the room during the briefing, right?
Yeah.
It was just random people. But I love that, right? Because he's like, put your fucking hands up, and the guy goes pop. Like fucking shoots him immediately in the face, and you're like, oh, well, okay, like, because that makes sense, and that's awesome. Because like,
you'd think they would at least have like rifles or like something.
Okay, well, I mean, some of them did. Like the 2 main characters had their like unique weapons or whatever the fuck. I don't know why they do that.
Weird. Like the pistol is what really makes me angry. I'm like,
why
are you even there? Like you're such an afterthought.
Yeah, that's like in like an old-timey thing where like the main guy just has a sword.
It's like a revolver. He's like, I got 6 shots.
Right. No,
it wasn't a revolver, but
it was like a single shot.
Yeah, it was a Derringer. He actually had a little pea shooter. He had to load it though, so he real quick put toilet paper in his mouth. He's like,
yeah. 1 second.
I missed. Reload.
What the hell? They're fucking like, no, but like, I understand your complaints, but that like works for me because it shows, because like you're not supposed to think that like they were so badass and these guys unbelievably defeated all like 100 SWAT team members, right? This is just their normal departmental budget of like, we have to go do an operation, and we got
I feel like
Larry
there's like
and
a
Steve
cabinet
and all
with
these
guns
people.
that like you sign out for missions. Like there's a thing.
I don't know. Homeland in
previous missions they've had snipers.
Yes.
Were they up there with a pistol? Like I got him.
That is my main complaint, where if they knew what the location was, why did they have to say, we have a runner here, and there was like 1 guy, maybe? Like the whole place should have been like surrounded or something like that, right? They should have had drones or helicopter, like something.
Anything?
Like Billy shouldn't have been able to like get away, but he had to because he's Billy and he has to do more stuff later, so it's kind of like whatever.
So Billy gets away, but Cop McPartner.
I was gonna say, we're burying the lead here because that's the main thing.
He stops him. He rips off the fucking mask. Knows who that is.
You? Yeah.
And then we see that like taxi driver knife thing.
Oh
he's
my
got
God.
Assassin's Creed style right into his throat.
I loved this so much, and I want to break it down. earlier in the episode, which we're not even going to talk about too deeply, I think Punisher gets to tell Micro's kid, you could be right where you are right now with like a gun, like locked and loaded. I'd still rather be me with like the knife or something like that. They literally like set all that up for you. They literally fucking like do it, and they have Sam say, "Oh, you like him pretty?" To like make sure that that Sam knows who Billy is. Like everything was so well structured and so naturally like structured there, right? Because no one's thinking like, how do you get him with the knife? He had a gun right at him. That's so like ridiculous. You're like, well, even the Punisher believes that's a favorable situation.
And especially if you don't know they have a knife. It's even more favorable.
100%. And I forget if Billy even gets like a shot off that doesn't connect or something like that. I'm not sure anymore.
Billy?
The guy with the gun, Sam.
Cop face.
I forget if
I don't think he does.
Something even happens there.
I think he's immediately struck like zombie style, like through the neck into the brain or something.
Oh God.
It's not into the brain, but like
and
he doesn't even have enough. I thought he'd be able to mumble like something like pretty or like something.
Billy or something.
Yeah.
I know. I was waiting, but that's so awesome. As he's dying, as he's clicking to life, as he's gurgling and like struggling, and he has those dead eyes searching the abyss for like something to grab onto to prevent himself from slipping into the void. He's like you're like, just say Billy, oh my God. And then like the payoff to that is like Billy's helping clean up like a Madonna at the end. Oh, it's so good. It's the best, Stefan.
I think it's
the
funny.
best.
So like she's like a higher up in the governmental law enforcement agencies. She should know simply patchwork type stuff on how to help somebody in a crisis.
She pushed something on his neck.
Her friend is choking. He's holding it tightly with his hand. She pulls his hand away, puts a rag there. He dies almost immediately.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, I think she was trying to put. I don't know if they sold it enough or whatever. I think the implication there.
It looked so loose.
Trying to do
I was like, well, he's gonna die now.
Move her neck as much as possible. Whatever.
Because you had the little hope because he's a main character. It could be like, we gotta get him to the hospital. He's in a medically induced coma,
exactly.
And he cannot tell you. But no, he's dead.
He's totally dead. I mean, I assume he's totally dead.
If he's not dead, what a twist.
That's just weird. But yeah, you would have almost had you paused it and said, what do you think is going to happen? I probably would have bet like, nope, he'll be in a medically induced coma. Billy has to go in there and like stealthily like take the bag and like squeeze it and like kill him in like the hospital, and then something happens and there's a whole fucking like the stereotypical like thing that happens there. But no, he just dies and Billy's just like, it's okay, girl, relax, it's fine. And it shows how much of like a fucking sociopath he is, where he can just be like, I'm here for you and all that stuff.
What I think is so weird is just think about that logically though. At some point she had to leave the crime scene and go to her house.
Why does she still have blood on her?
There was no debriefing situation, there was no nothing like that. She went right to her home and I guess called Billy on her way out and then waited till he got there so that she could shower him.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
I was like, this doesn't exactly make sense unless he like just like did a Yui right after stabbing him. Like, oh, are you here?
I'm
here.
Hey, I saw your car. Oh my God, what's happening?
Are you covered in blood?
What's going
all
on?
over your face?
Come with me immediately.
What were you doing? Why is it on your face?
I have some wet I have some wet naps, but let's go home.
Yeah, I got a nice.
I know.
A nice.
Don't shatter the illusion. The imagery was so perfect because it cuts back to her face, but she's somewhere else, and then it slowly zooms out. It's this beautiful. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It sucked.
It's amazing. But the one thing that kind of put like a damper on it for me was his line. I believe he says, "Who's pretty now?" Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So something about that.
Honestly, it doesn't make sense because he wasn't saying pretty as an insult, and he did not become pretty by getting stabbed in the face. So what the fuck does that mean?
No, I know.
Get your jargon right, son.
So had he said like not so pretty now or something like that, that would have maybe fit a little better. But I didn't even think of that in the moment. All I thought of in the moment was the episode of The Simpsons where Bart cuts off all of Lisa's hair because like the new baby's here and she's getting all the attention, and then they like catch him, in the crib, and there's just like triangles of orange hair everywhere, and he's got like scissors, and he's like, "Who's cuter now?" or whatever the fuck. It just like that like clicked into my head, and I started laughing. So it sort of ruined the scene, but otherwise it was good times.
I thought as a surprise executed bit of a scene, it was ruined by that "Who's pretty now."
Oh wow, okay.
because like
not because of The Simpsons. Just in general.
Not for me anyway.
Okay, nice.
You didn't think he was gonna kill that dude, right? You thought something was gonna happen. Like, oh, I did like how Billy had no regard for his own teammates because, like, they're just like schlubs.
Oh yeah.
And, like, throws one out to get shot, kills the other one because he's like, you're gonna talk, fuck you,
please, no, and he's like, yeah. Oh no, yeah, like we kind of barreled through all that or whatever. Yeah, he's a piece of shit, and like there was no doubt, like. So, again, two things. One, you see him, like, recruit these pieces of shit.
Yes.
And he says, you're pieces of shit. We have, like, 8 lines of dialogue here just to establish that you're all pieces of shit. Sorry, guys, but I have an operation for you and all that stuff. And they go, I'm a piece of shit. I guess I'll accept. It sounds good. Like, it was all about them being pieces of shit.
And you know now that his pieces of shit are dead, and he lost a bunch of people to the Punisher in the woods, he's going to hire on our boy, Military McGee.
So that's part two, is that we had even questioned, like, how is the Punisher, like, like okay with killing Agent Orange's boys or whatever the fuck, but they're Billy's boys.
Yeah, he had no idea of that.
He has literally no idea whose boys they are, but for like the audience's purposes now, it's like, oh, we can assume that they too were pieces of shit on some level. It's as if the show hears the complaints of us through time and space and then adds little bits of dialogue or things in there to like make it make sense, and I appreciate that.
No, it's certainly better, but it annoys me just because the Punisher could not have known these things, and then he goes against his own logic. Or he's like, their fighting style is so shitty, these can't possibly be Marines.
It was,
but most of the ones he recruits are ex-military, so they should have military prowess.
Yeah. No, and there was no even sign. Again, like, they gave the one guy dialogue, like, I'm gonna kill you, fuck you, or something, and then he go, and then, like, that's like the 8th guy or like the 7th guy he kills, so you're like,
yeah, where'd that
come? There was no establishment. I guess they were shooting at them, and like that alone on a certain level you have to respond, but he was still having a lot of fun killing everybody.
A little too much fun.
He likes what he does. I envy him.
You do what you like. And
he's totally on board. So the main other thing that's going on.
Wife.
Yeah, is like the cameras go out, right?
Yep.
So we get, is that after they get, no, because they get drunk afterwards.
Yeah, the cameras go out because she's ripped the Wi-Fi thing.
Yeah.
Because the son's being a little bitch thief. I love how the Punisher approaches this stuff.
Yeah.
I think that tactic would work most of the time. But where like you kind of be like, I'm a bigger bully than you. There are bigger bullies out. You're a small fish. You could get fucked. Stop doing what you're doing now. You're gonna get fucking killed.
Right.
I think that would work with most people.
Well, because the assumption is right that like as a kid, they haven't developed in the prefrontal whatever to know like empathy and like understand what it feels like for their victim of the bullying to be in that position, and now he can sort of demonstrate. Yeah. This is what this feels like when you fuck with someone like this. And the person goes, holy shit. And like they're like, so like, oh God, the world is a horrible place. And he's like, yep, don't start none, won't be none.
But that didn't work because he's like emotionally damaged.
No, and he immediately bursts out crying and says like...
Well, first let's do it. He's like, kill me.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, this kid's troubled.
Totally troubled.
And Michael's like, no!
Yeah.
Not my boy!
Did you like that? He's watching and goes like, oh, like fuck.
I don't know if I like that.
No?
I don't know.
I really didn't like that he shows up later. That's really weird to me.
A lot of this stuff with the family seems so forced because it's like, well, why are you there? Why did you bring flowers? Like, why are you being like, you don't have to be this nice to this lady.
Okay, right.
She's clearly in a trouble spot, and what other than a love interest could you come off as to her?
Yes, exactly.
Nothing. You won't always be alone. Oh, he's gonna be there for me. I could fix that for you. He's handy. Oh, he likes my meatloaf. Like all stupid shit.
Well, you don't need to call a guy anymore because you got Pete now.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, fuck. No, I know. So, like, he has to come up with some reason to be there, and he has to come up with some reason to whatever the fuck, right, to get in and get the information.
Yeah.
But the reasons that he's picking are as far to the other side, where it's like literally flirting at the same time.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the best way, maybe not, but it's definitely, from Micro's perspective, this is one of those things where like like Frank always has an answer. Well, I had to fucking do the thing. But, like, Micro's there, like, well, yeah, but you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to go there. Ugh, and all that stuff. And it finally culminates in them day drinking and smooching and stuff.
This is some good shit.
Yeah, the
like,
rosé or whatever.
Like drinking that shit wine. No.
Rosé? What do you mean?
He's the Punisher.
I think it was fancy wine. I don't know.
No, she's poor as fuck.
I don't know.
She's drinking like $4 wine.
That's what he's into. He likes the Boone's. He dropped the Boone's Farm. Whatever else he said. Mad Dog or something like that.
I wonder exactly what her financial situation is.
Big house.
What
maybe,
is she again? She's a waitress?
They haven't you.
For some reason, I keep saying she's a waitress.
You said that you wished that they would have established her day-to-day life, such as she's a waitress and it's like
she
tough.
mentioned struggling with money.
Yeah.
She has these problems, but like she's in a big house in Seattle, right? Is that in Seattle?
Oh Lord, I don't even know where they are.
I forget where they are, but like it's a nice area. It's a big house.
Yeah, nice suburb, big house, car, garage, whatever.
3 kids, 1 income, or 2 kids, 1 income.
I was just going to slide on that
Pete
one.
as a child.
Yeah.
That is.
No, and like we even ran through this in like an earlier one of our episodes where it's like, well, I guess there's like a pension or something, but why would there be if he was a criminal? There can't be, right?
Can't be.
So that's sort of like nothing really adds up there. I don't know.
I don't know
what's happening. But the part I was on board up until the part where Micro's like literally standing around the corner while they're playing football.
Yeah, that was awkward. I'm like, you could just be noticed by anybody. That's your old neighborhood.
Exactly.
Someone could be coming from any direction and just say, "Hey, is that you, Martin?"
And he's not. I mean, so like you know, one could argue, well, he probably looked different back then too. But we've seen flashbacks where he looks exactly like there's no way out of this whole thing. And it's like he's standing literally right. Like I don't know if like the camera angles are making it look worse or better or something like that. But he's literally right there. It's like fall. There's no leaves on the trees. He's just like, oh, hi. And Frank's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Did you read anything into how Frank was like, get the fuck out of here? He said that, like, the kids would be killed if, like, he exposed himself. Does that even make sense? Is that even what we think would happen?
Well, yeah, because the government thinks they killed him. And if they find out they have not killed him, excuse me, if they find out they haven't killed him, they're going to want to kill him again. Best way to kill him again is to take his family hostage and say, like, hey, we're going to kill your family if you don't fucking come here, and then kill him. So, yeah. And then they would kill your family anyway.
But the kid wouldn't get killed if he knows his dad's alive. You know, the kid would get killed if the government knows Micro's alive.
Yeah, but anyone knowing he's alive
makes it worse.
It's like telling anyone a secret. Now someone knows your secret.
Oh, yeah, totally, but that's like indirect and later and stuff like that.
And we don't know if their phones are being tapped. We don't know any of that shit, so, like...
I didn't know if we were supposed to read into, because like they're playing football like immediately, which is fine too, but it's also like a little creepy how much he's getting into his family and all that stuff. And so how insistent he was about Micro fucking piecing out and not being around or whatever. I read into that like a little bit of like possessive weirdness of like, I'm doing my thing here, man. Just get the fuck out. We'll talk later. Some weird like shit or something like that.
I didn't take it too weird.
I may be empathizing with Micro's plight too much, yeah.
No, Micro's got a shitty deal.
Yeah.
He's alive. So he's got a lot going for him in that regard. After this season, he'll either be dead, his family will be dead, or not.
I can't wait for that. I'm so like at this because at various points during the season I was sure of how it was going to go, and then certain things happen that make me think it'll go one way or the other. And at this point, I literally have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, not sure.
I'm assuming Agent Orange and Billy die. Maybe Billy dies in some sort of like redemptive thing. Maybe Billy
dies in a way where you don't see his body and he comes back with a mask.
Ooh, and he's crossbones. Is that who it should be? I have no idea. I want Billy to throw Agent Orange down a big tunnel while Agent Orange is doing Force Lightning and just take care of everything.
I'll see if we can get a remake.
I'll see if we can do it. It fits perfectly. That segues into hung like a moose.
Yeah,
stuff.
That was really weird too.
Did you like that? Did you feel good about that?
I guess, as some sort of weird locker room bullshit.
I don't know what that was about. Yeah, it was a little too much.
And John's just like, heck, get out of here, you nut. Like, what the fuck?
I'm just going to squeeze that a minute. Okay, good.
No, that was weird.
The angles were weird. I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. There was a little bit of like laughing.
He's seen you 100% naked. You were tied to a chair, so.
I know.
And unless you were trying to imply, like, well, when I'm in the mood, it's bigger.
I'm a grower, not a shower, Frank.
Like, why are you, what?
I'm hung like a moose. No, it was a weird, like, bonding thing. I'm not sure. At a certain point I go, well, I'm just an alien robot. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe this is how people interact or something like that.
No, well, people now, it seems to interact all in just big clusters of whatever the fuck you're doing. It's very strange.
But they bonded. We got to even see like the next morning the yin of the yang of the bonding, right?
Yeah.
I guess we should like say the whole thing. He wants to talk to Madani. Punisher's like, just like, no, you don't. And immediately,
he was very drunk when he came up with this idea, though. Also.
Totally.
But believed in it when he was sober.
Yeah, because he says, "Oh, I forget everything I said last night, except about Matani." I'm like, "Oh God, that's the one thing you should have been like." No, I am hung like a moose, but we shouldn't call him Matani. It's ridiculous.
I don't know why.
I really liked how Punisher socks him real quick and then immediately goes to like picking him up and stuff like that, and that played really well because it can't be stunt doubles; it's like them or whatever the fuck, right?
Or it's
I like
ridiculously crazy.
Or, you know, extra money getting paid to do weird stuff. Because, like, I don't know. I dig shit like that when, like, it's sort of unexpected. The camera doesn't do anything anticipatory. You're not sure what's going to happen. When he was, like, walking over, like, the Terminator cowboy. And I'm like, you're, like, super drunk. You're both, like, very drunk. But he's like, no. And, like, like fucking does the thing. I'm like, yeah, Frank, you're the man.
Ultimately, I think Micro's going to do it anyway.
Oh, God. Maybe. I don't know how that all ended. I actually don't even like remember if I'm like remembering until like the last minute. Because I remember them eating like kimchi or whatever the fuck, some like Vietnamese fermented rice thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Where like I don't want to nitpick, but how
I made it.
Yeah, how is Frank fermenting rice, or did he buy fermented rice? When did he do that? What's going on here?
He's got many skills you don't know about. He's got a ammo box full of kimchi.
I'm fine with him being able to cook, but it's just such a weird choice to say fermented rice. It's good shit. And they're eating it or whatever. And I was like, all right. I mean, that's fun. What are we going to do? But I don't know anything after that. So I don't know if they dropped any hints or lines or whatever. I think Micro still obviously wants to call him a Donnie. I don't know if that's really the worst idea in the world.
It doesn't sound like the worst idea. I'm like, what is the real trouble here? She already knows you exist.
Yeah.
So like, what are you really losing?
And his point is, like, we want the same thing. So, okay, this is good. It comes full circle. Earlier on, that he was, he's doing the CIA shit, and he's like, this is Agent Orange. That's his real name. And Frank's like, that son of a bitch, and all that stuff. And they're like, okay. And then they're like, that's where they like establish that like, well, we're not against the whole CIA, we're not like against the whole government. They're not filing any paperwork about us.
And that is important.
Exactly.
That is important because then you know you're not fighting these crazy odds.
That's been some of our like complaints the whole time. So like,
and each episode is going to be less and less bad guys because he keeps killing more of them.
Because they keep getting murdered in these like crazy high numbers or whatever the fuck. No, it's like it is very important because some of our complaints the whole time have been like, well, doesn't he just have to blah blah blah? But like, no, Agent Orange wants to cover up his past and just take care of this on like the sly, and Billy has to hire even worse pieces of shit to like, off the books to like go kill people now and all that stuff. Like it's a whole thing, which makes more sense. It makes the odds a little tighter and better.
Yeah, no, I like where it's going. I think next episode will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
how many out of 10?
There's 13, I think.
13, okay.
So we have 10, 11, 12, 13. 4 more episodes. That's a lifetime, Stefan. So much could happen.
A lot can happen. I don't know.
I'm interested.
I don't even really have a serious prediction.
I'm most interested where the love interest stuff's going or whatever, where because even after the kiss, Micro's wife is kind of like, ooh, sorry, and all that stuff, and like weirded out by the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they're just going to drop that or if that's going to ratchet up or something like that.
That I'll add a third possibility to my original thing where Micro dies, Punisher takes his spot, then the family dies.
Ooh,
and he loses 2 families.
I lost my other family.
Yeah.
I lost my family.
So like Micro dies, like saving him in some way, and goes, "You can take my wife. Treat my kids back. Good. Treat him good." And he goes, "All right." He goes, "You know what? I think we can kiss." They kiss, and then like. It cuts to a thing of him in his own mask shooting his family again, them dying, and it cuts back to reality, and it's like the army kid who was digging the hole, shooting them.
Oh, good! That would be perfect, because I was going to say we didn't see Army Kid the whole episode. So he's going to have to he's going to have to serve a purpose, and he could kill Micro's family. That's wonderful. If you think about their neighborhood, right, they could live in the same neighborhood, and we just don't know it yet.
100% could live in the same neighborhood.
Because where he was digging the hole, like the houses in the backyard, and their house has like a big finished basement and all that stuff. Sure. Ooh, girl, they could be neighbors this whole time. Oh my God, wouldn't that be a twist? Such a twist!
I would be down for a good twist.
No, I'm into it.
I think that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below if we forgot something, what you thought about this episode. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.